Hi folks! Today we're going to use these templates to make this great helm. So let's level up. The helm, or can as it is sometimes affectionately known, is essentially a 2-template piece, but there are actually 4 pieces. We have the top of your head, we have the bottom of your head, both of those wrap around. Once you have those fitted to a particular individual's head, you then use that construction to draw the top part. And if there's any recesses or openings in the back, you fit those out specifically with pieces of cardboard that you create your own shapes for. I am going to trace this out first, and since I am so consummately skilled, all I have to do is snap at that. Voila. Voila. Now, I shall cut these out. Ah, my pieces. Once I get my pieces cut out, the first thing I want to do is put a little score down the center of each. A score, again, is just a half cut so that it bends in the middle. This way is easier to do this way. Sometimes you want to mark where the middle of that is, or at least where you're going to. The more accurately it is in the middle, the easier it's going to go together. Just make sure that that is bending correctly. Now, you're going to have an easier time if you bend these along the curve that they're arrayed in. For this piece, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is start near the center cut and just roll it back along the corrugation. For the top piece, it's a little bit more difficult. I really don't want to bend so much with the corrugation as I do sort of in a perpendicular line to the curve of the piece. So what I do is I start with the end facing the edge of the table, and then I bend and turn it as I go along. Start with the end parallel to the edge of the table and start bending it and turn it so that you get kind of a conical construction. Next, this is a piece that doesn't require staples in the beginning. It's a little bit difficult. What I want to do is I want to get these 2 curved pieces fitting together in more or less this alignment, but I really want these seams to come together. I'm going to assemble it in a flat way, orientation, and after I tape up one side, when I start taping up the other side, it's going to curve up and get that beautiful, perfect shape. So, know, too, that many of these templates are imperfect. Where these eye holes are, the top and bottom, they may not line up perfectly. What's more important is that you get the nose to line up with the bridge of the top piece. Let's try it and see what happens. So to start, I'm gonna get my nose underneath the top part. I'm gonna grab my tape. I am going to tape that edge up nice and strong. And to start, just so it doesn't get messed up, I'm gonna do that on both sides. Now I'm going to continue taping up this side. I have to curve it a little bit to get that seam tight, the top seam tight against the bottom seam. But just go slowly. It'll start to curve a little bit on its own, but that's good. Before I go on, I'm going to tape the other side just to make sure this doesn't peel back. Great. It is so already wanting to become a helmet, but let's do the other side. It may get a little bit more challenging here for you, but just stick with it. And again, at this point, you really want the what do you call that? The bridge of the nose to line up with the center of the crown of its head more than this eyepiece lining up perfectly. We can always fix that, but we can't fix that. Great. One thing to note, some people don't tape the seams together, but they will add a tab sticking up from either the bottom or sticking down from the top piece, and they'll staple it together. You can do it that way if you like. I actually find this weirdly easier to tape. I think you will too, but if you're adamant about using tabs, go for it. That works too. Next thing we want to do is we want to pull this whole thing together so it is a circle, and it looks something like this. Okay, well, hopefully not that skinny. But before we do that, this is the time to grab your child's head and stick this on it and make sure it works. Yes, this can be worn with glasses inside if you have the child wearing the glasses when you fit it to their head. So ask them if they want to be able to see in a fight, or if they're nearsighted or farsighted, or if they have any special requests. Because once this fits to their head, you want them wearing on their head what they want to wear in battle. If I was fitting this to myself, I probably want it like that. You want it fairly tight. Once you have the right size and you know where you're going to make your little staple, of course, pull it off their head and staple it. Oh, make sure that when you staple, the pointy ends of the staple are going out and not in towards their precious little hair and cheeks. There you go. Now, you see there's a gap there. Sometimes I can pull that together, or sometimes I will just cut a strip of cardboard there and either tape it or staple it over the gap. But before I do that, I'm going to make the top of the helmet. Hello. So I grab a piece of cardboard. I make sure that this opening is as round as I can get it before I lay it on that paper. So take some minute and just futz with it to get it the kind of shape that you want it. You want it really round. If it's not round, your helmet's going to look like that, which looks a little weird. The rounder that is, you know, at this point, I may want to put a little staple in the bridge of my nose to hold it where I want it to be. Some people do that. Some people think it wrecks the look of it. Ask your child. There, I got that looking pretty good. So I trace. Down it goes. I like to trace from the inside, but you can do it from the outside if you like. I spend a second and just round that out, make it a little bit more artful, and make it as symmetrical as I can. Perfect symmetry is overrated, but that's pretty good. If you are symmetrically challenged, you can do one half, make a little score, flip it over and trace the other half, but whatever. It's really not that important. Now, I'm going to tape this to the top of the helmet. There's a little bit of a method in doing this. Whenever you're taping cardboard edge to edge, you really want the outside edges to touch, if at all possible, okay? I always start at the little tip, the point of my crown cut, and I get that firmly attached. You can see I'm trying to pull the two outer edges of the cardboard together all the way around. Now, here's something that's happening, and I'm not sure why, but it happens occasionally. I am finding it very hard to get this piece to connect to this piece in the way that I want to without it like flipping up. Like you can see this is coming up here. So I just cut that off. It's cardboard. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's not fitting exactly, just cut it away. Anything you don't like, get rid of that. Now, that would have been easy had I cut with the bevel going in. So I'm going to recut it to make the bevel going in. There we go. There, practically done, except for the hole in back. Now, you can leave this as a little bit of ventilation. You can cover it up with a piece of cardboard, or if the battle is raging and your little camper is crying because they're missing the battle, you can tape it up. However, this is a huge warning. If you tape it up this way, you should go inside and tape the inside too, or when they pull the helmet off, they're going to pull out strands of hair, and then they'll really be crying. There, this is DUN. That's done. 99 out of 100 campers will be happy with this, but you can do extra special things. You can have campers design breathing holes. I don't know, maybe they're just, you know, like these 14th century jousting holes. That is a technical term. Or it might be a set of 13th century icy looking grills. That comes straight from Northumbria. It could be whatever, you know? You could cut, some kids want their eyes bigger. I think that looks terrible, but it's their mask. Some of them will ask you to cut an eye out like this. Try to convince them not to do that because it looks really bad. I mean, it's kind of cool with that, just me. Some, you know, you can make an open-faced helmet. You can cut a lot of this away. You could cut it away right here and here and leave that all open. That's kind of cool. The other thing you can do is put a visor on or some horns. And we're gonna talk about that really quickly right now. Let's talk about a visor. There may or may not be a template for a visor, but here's the general idea. I'm gonna draw one side and you'll see I'm gonna make a perfect symmetrical copy of the other side. So I'm just gonna guess where the middle will be. And then I'm gonna bring it back like this. You can make it any shape you want, but something like that is usually pretty good. And if you screw up, it's cardboard. Recycle it and start over. All right. Actually, I hate this little lump here, so I'm gonna ignore that. So I've scored this and I've cut this. So what that allows me to do is fold that over, trace the other half. Now, if you want to cut grills in here or anything, now would be the time to do it before you attach it, but I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to bend this here. And let's see. So obviously, a visor on a can makes little sense. So I might put a visor on this can if it were an open-faced helmet. So let's just quickly make this open-faced. Aha, a barbet. Now, put a visor on there, and it will swivel up and down. And the way we do that are with these beautiful little cardboard rivets. These things just attach like this. Probably couldn't see that. They just push together, and you can pull them apart if need be and reuse them. What I would do, you're probably not going to have talk to your castle person. If she has an electric drill, use that, figure out where you want the hole, and just drill straight through. If not, use a pencil. Let's see. So, go right there. Yeah. Oh, I didn't eat my spinach. Okay. I'm gonna leave that pencil in there so that I can get all symmetrical. Does that look good enough? Good enough for cardboard camp? Okay, good. I'll go this side. Stick that in. Yeah, close enough. There we go. Now I'm gonna snap my fingers and, well, actually I should show you. Okay, here are the little pieces. So let's remove one of these pencils. It's easier if you start with the inside one. Stick that through with its little prongs facing you. There it is. Put your other one in there. And now listen carefully. Ah. Let's do the other side. Okay, there we go. I don't know if this fits me. Let's see. So yeah, great, it works. Oh, horns. I'm not gonna make horns now, but you know, horns. What is that called? A Grecian mohawk. Antlers. Ram's horns coming down, spikes coming out, a crest, a gallant crest, or what do they call that? A panache on top. If you have some feathers around, or the kids found some turkey feathers or whatever, stick them in and then wash your hands. A dead lizard, teeth. Oh yeah, teeth. Coming off this, or coming up from this, get all Colossus-like. And there you go, the can. So that's all I have for helmets today. Of course, take this where you will. Add any or none of those accoutrements. And make sure to check out our other videos that show you how to build horns and teeth and feathers and other things. Pretty soon you'll be making helmets in any shape and form that you want to see or that your campers request. Have fun.